Hello everyone, it's Terry at Danu's Irish Herb Garden, and it is a stunningly beautiful warm day. There's barely a breeze. It's one of those perfect days, so I thought I'm going to go for a walk and see what I can gather. And just as I'm stepping outside the door, I notice there's a lot of things just right here on my driveway. So look at this. This is silverweed. See how silvery it is on the back? And this is its little flower. It's a little 5-petaled yellow flower. It looks like a little yellow rose. And usually I'd gather this in springtime. I'm surprised the flowers are out now. But the Latin name for this is it's a potentilla, which means it's very potent, it's very powerful, and it is crammed full of vitamin C. You can put this into your salads, and you could dry it for tea to take during the winter, because it's going to stave off any coughs and colds and problems like that. So it's just taken over here, so I think maybe it's a sign I should collect it. But even before I step out of the drive, I've got yarrow, there's dandelion, there's ground elder and meadowsweet there in that little meadow. And there's just a prolific amount of wild plants that can be used for food and medicine. So I was out for a walk the other day, and I walked up the road, and just to amuse myself I said I'll just count how many medicinal herbs I can recognize. And I was amazed that I could count. I've counted 42 on a quarter of a mile walk, and there were 42 different herbs. They weren't 10 of one and 30 of another. There were 42 individual different herbs. So today I'm going this way down to the coast, and I'm just going to see what I've got on this end of the road. Come on, dogs. Good girl. Come on then. So here at the gate already there's red clover, so we use the flowers. There's also some purple knapweed, but I've never used that before, so I can't tell you much about it other than it would have been used in the past. And of course here's the beautiful meadowsweet, a great painkiller and very good for the digestive system. And then we've got blackberry, which is a food, but it's also the leaves are very astringent, so they're really going to dry up anything such as, well, traditionally it'd be used for diarrhea, but you could use it if you just had loose movements. I'm just going to walk on and see what else I can find. And here I've just spotted the lovely little pink flowers of herb robert. And herb robert is a wonderful blood cleanser. It's a detox plant. It's particularly interesting that it is so good for cleansing the body of radiation and electromagnetic disturbance. So it would be recommended to take in a foot bath. You know, if you're working on a computer all day, or you're working as a radiologist of some kind, a foot bath with herb robert is going to keep you, you know, less toxic, cleansed, balanced. And in the field down there I can see some purple loosestrife, which is a great respiratory herb, among other things. Purple loosestrife is magical because it helps to heal the land as well. So if the land has been disturbed, or there's been any kind of, I don't know, environmental, ecological damage, purple loosestrife can help cleanse and restore the land. So you can imagine how good it's going to be for us as well. So when you start to look for plants, you see the amazing variety of colour. Shades of white and cream, yellow and purple, magenta and lilac. It's just so gorgeous at this time of year. I mean, every season is wonderful. Every season has got so much to offer in terms of colour, but just the angle of the sun at this time of year makes everything really bright. I mean, look at this Montbretia. It's not medicinal, but it is just so stunningly beautiful. And it is a nuisance when it gets out of control because it can be invasive, but if you just leave it alone, it'll just sit where it is. And it just is so heartening and gladdening. It's just beautiful. The strip running down the centre of the little boreen here is very typical thing to find in the west of Ireland. Always makes me think of jewels strewn on an emerald velvet, I don't know, scarf or something. But you can see we've got dandelion coming back. It's an ever faithful friend. And red clover. There are other little plants like the hawkweed there, which isn't used very much. There's some self-heal going to seed. It's just so much to see. And I've picked some agrimony as well, just a little bit. But what I'm really after today is to get some more meadowsweet, because you can tincture it and dry it for tea, but I want to make a syrup because I think that'll be a lovely way for children to take it as a painkiller and for the tummy aches, you know, because it's such a good digestive herb. I'm just trying to find, I know there's some wild thyme up here. I just want to show you the wild thyme because it's another stunningly beautiful, prolific herb. It tumbles over rocks. It's not as strong tasting or smelling as the cultivated thyme, but if you didn't have any and you needed it, see, here it is growing over here. Look, it's the same little flowers, tiny little leaves. I'll just pick a little sprig. Look at that, isn't it? It's just so beautiful. Look. You can just say, if you really crush it, you can just say smell it. Oh, there's some lady's bedstraw. It's beautiful. This used to be a strewing herb like meadowsweet. I haven't used it as a medicine, so I can't tell you what it's for, but it's just lovely to see it. It's such a bright yellow. It's probably going to be beneficial to the liver, but don't take me on that because I'm not sure. But it's something to watch out for. It's in the same family as cleavers. It's a gallium. So here's some nettle. Now we use nettle in the springtime as a spring cleanse, and we can make soup and pesto and all kinds of lovely things from it, or use it like spinach. But this time of year, you can see it's gone to seed, and the seeds are brilliant for prostate problems. But also they're so full of vitamins and minerals that if you dry them, you can grind them up into a salt or pepper mill and use them as a condiment. It's a great way to get all those minerals in. So nettle is another plant like dandelion. It just keeps giving all year round. And of course you can use it to make, if you're that way inclined and clever, you can use it to make fabric and paper. And here we've got some wild garlic. Here's a lovely clump of yarrow. I have this in the garden, but it's lovely to see it out wild as well. And yarrow is another, it's a blood cleanser, but it's also very astringent. And yarrow demonstrates the intelligence of plants because it's what's called an amphoteric herb. So for example, you have a woman who's bleeding heavily, it will arrest that problem and help her menstrual flow to improve and not be so heavy. But at the same time, if somebody is not having any periods, this will bring on the period. So it uses its own intelligence to decide what to do in the body. There's many herbs like that as well. I think that's why they confuse a lot of hard scientists, because how can a herb be astringent and a demulcent? How can it be drying and soothing? And that's just because plants are intelligent. It's just they know what to do. There's so much in the fields as well. There's a lot of ground elder this year, and some people hate ground elder, but it's a food. You know, you can eat the roots, you can use it as a medicine for gout, among other things. So I would always say to people, if something starts to grow in your garden or in your location and it suddenly seems to be everywhere, ask yourself, what is its purpose? Why is it suddenly appearing everywhere? How can it help you? Because there's a reason it's popped up, in my opinion. Look, devil's bit scabious, more yarrow. And this poor hawthorn got very badly burned in the last wind that we had a couple of months ago, a very bad storm. But you can see it's recovering on the other side. And hawthorn is such a wonderful remedy for the heart. It can balance your blood pressure, helps with angina. It's one of those herbs that is just so gentle and restorative and soothing. It's also really helpful for someone who has a broken heart or somebody who's grieving. So it works on every level. This will come back again next year, it'll be fine. It's just you can see the leaves have been burned here, but they are coming back on the east side, look. And you can use the leaves, you can use the flowers that you can pick in May. You can use the little end of the twiglets, and you can use the berries when they start to appear end of August, September time. So it's just got so much to offer. Oh, and look at this usnea. Old man's beard as well, it's called. It's got lots of folk names, but this is a symbiotic being. It's not really a plant, it's not really a fungus, but it grows on trees, and it grows on rocks around here as well, and it's a fantastic immune support. And thistle, of course, can help with many things. And marshmallow, well, I've got this in the garden, so we can talk about that another day. I'll see what's at the seaside. This is chamomile, sea chamomile. So it looks just like chamomile, but it's not a true chamomile. It has the same medicinal effects, but it's much weaker. You can see how similar it is by the frond-like leaves. And you use the flower heads. So this will help you with the same issues that chamomile will help you with. It's just much weaker. But if you have some growing nearby, it is it's better than nothing if you don't have chamomile in your garden, but you live near the coast and you find some of this. So it's got the traditional daisy head and very frond-like, feathery little leaves. You know when the chamomile is ready because the white petals bend backwards. and they're ready to pick. So I'll have to come back here because they're not all anywhere near ready yet. Some are, but not all. So I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope you can see just from that short walk that I've just taken that somewhere near you there will be a short walk that will have many medicinal and food plants that you can harvest. Just invest in a good plant ID book and go out and have a look and see what you can find and enjoy it, and surprise yourself with your knowledge that you already have. And most of all, just enjoy it. And it's a great opportunity. It's a great way to make a reconnect and to open your eyes, because we so often walk around and we don't actually see things. So have a great walk yourself. And I'm going to go back now and see what else I can find. So if you've enjoyed this, please subscribe. And don't forget, if you go to the website, there is a couple of books that might help you on your herb walks. Bye for now. Come on, doggies.